Hey everybody, welcome to day one of the Zero to Hero Challenge. Now, this is interesting because Cody during the Zero to Hero Challenge was actually in Costa Rica, but he's here now back in Mesa, Arizona. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and we decided to get together and just do kind of a rundown of what you're going to get yourself into. When we all start into this business, this real estate business, we all wish we had somebody that just took us by the hand and walked us through it because we are all visual learners. What's the other type of learning? Visual?
You have
Like kinesthetic.
kinesthetic or
Yeah.
like touch, feel.
Kinesthetic
Yeah.
is you have to watch somebody else do it in order to
Mhm.
learn. So I believe all humans are like that. We call that monkey see, monkey do. Like I see you do it, that means I can do it as well. So we wanted to jump into what you're going to see in day one of Zero to Hero and all the way through day 15 as well. But we're going to do them as individual videos. And today is just day one. So I have a couple of questions for these two gentlemen on my right and my left, starting with Mr. Matthew Beard. Ooh. And by the way, Jesus is in the room. So if you hear him doing some stupid shit, just know
Just throwing stuff.
Yes.
he's throwing stuff around. So, Matt, when you got into
Yes.
the business, did
Mhm.
you have somebody holding your hand all the way through the process? What did that look like?
Yeah. So when I first got started, I didn't really know where to go. I think I was watching, podcast after podcast. I'm like, I felt like I was missing some sort of information that was super duper secretive and they're just not talking about it. So I thought like the more I listened, the more like, okay, I'm going to find that thing. And then it never happened. But luckily for me, I found you guys. Right. And I think this is just the power of proximity, which was, yo, I see these guys doing deals. So I know like they're actually doing the business. So it's not like, oh my gosh, what am I missing out on? They're making it happen. So what do I need to do? I can literally just mirror what they're doing and you guys help me out, right? You're like, okay, Matt, Cody, you were helping me underwrite deals. Pace, I saw you on appointments. I'm like, okay, now I get it. I finally get it. But then I just had to take action to make it happen. And that was my unfair advantage. And I think that's the coolest thing about doing this Zero to Hero challenge is that, dude, this is probably 10 times better than that because we literally walk you through step by step. These guys didn't have time to show me the business every single step of the way, right? You guys are doing deals. You guys are busy. You had your own business going,
Yeah,
right?
and speaking of like having our own business going, we already had an LLC. We already had a website. We already had logos. We already had CRMs and systems and processes built up. So it's not like we were stopping and going, okay, Matt, let us show. Like you had to go bump into a wall.
Yes.
And when you bumped into a wall, then you could come to us and go, I bumped into a wall. Cody, how do I fix this? Hey, I bumped into a wall with the seller. Pace, how do I solve this? Hey, Rochelle, who's our transaction coordinator, how do I extend a foreclosure? How do I do this? You had to take action and ultimately run into those brick walls.
100%.
But nobody showed you step by step by step.
No, I had to go make these and create these challenges for myself because again, you guys had plenty going on in your life. And the last thing I want to do is be those guys to come in and ask like, hey, what do I do? Do you have time? Like, show me where to pull a list or, hey, give me some recordings or something, right? Without actually doing anything,
Right.
you can lead with value. And that was the way that I did. I was like, I'm going to go make some mistakes. I'm going to go learn. And then I bring those back and like, hey, how can it be better? How can it be better? And like the coolest thing about this whole entire challenge is you get to see the fast forwarded version of it. Right.
Well, I think that my favorite part about it is that it's very different than the way that you, myself, and even Cody all got into the business. Cody, how'd you get into the business?
I mean, I was working as a real estate agent. Like I got into real estate and I'm like, I want to invest in real estate. So what did I do? I went and got my real estate license.
Yeah.
Guys, that's definitely the wrong way to do it. If you guys think that getting into real estate is going and getting your license, it's amazing that that's what people think is the way to make money.
If it's like, if you don't know any better, it's like, that's the path that you think. Cause it's like, well, if I want to do real estate, I should get my real estate license, right? Like that. And that's what I thought I needed to do. And, I did that for a couple of years and I'm like, I haven't invested in real estate in these last couple of years. I'm just helping other people buy and sell it. So I need to do something different. And so then I transitioned to do, I'm like, okay, well, I listen to you listen to the podcasts and everything. It's like, okay, driving for dollars. I'm going to go find distressed properties. And, that was the first initial deal, was just finding, a seller that it was actually a piece of land. It had a bunch of trash on it that I called this lady.
That was your first deal?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So interesting, even about driving for dollars, even though driving for dollars is a wonderful way to get into the business, it's not like somebody's physically showing you, okay,
Yeah. No.
we're going to download the app right now.
Right.
We're going to input our credit card and we're going to go, hold on, shoot, I'm out of gas in my car. All right, guys, follow me to the gas station.
Right. Everything.
I'm kind of hungry. Let's get some donuts. Okay, now we're ready to knock doors and drive for dollars and call sellers. That's literally what the Zero to Hero Challenge is. Is, all right, guys, we're geared up. You'll see Matt drinking the same coffee every single freaking morning. You'll see during the process how these conversations happen. And that is the magic behind Zero to Hero is what if you could sit next to somebody who's building their business? And then the other magical part, and I'd say there's 15 amazing layers to the Zero to Hero. One of them is that we actually did it.
Yeah.
Right. The second layer that I loved is that we did it in a limited amount of time. And why is that so important? Well, because everybody that's watching here on YouTube or anywhere else that you're watching this welcome video, so to speak, you're saying, well, I have a 9-to-5 job, or I have kids, or I have whatever. Guys, my kids are swimming outside this window right here. Like, we all have the same problems, right? We all have the same hindrances or issues. And what's great about the Zero to Hero is we said, let's limit ourselves to only 3 hours a day. And why did we do that? For multiple reasons. One, we wanted to simulate an environment like you guys would have that have 9-to-5 jobs. We want to simulate that environment. And then the second reason is because it's digestible if it's 3 hours in a day.
Very true.
Right?
Very true. Yeah.
Would you guys say that this is a very digestible format of just 3 hours a day of taking action?
100%. And it wasn't scripted. It was completely raw. There's plenty of times where we're just like, we got to go pull this up. Okay, we're logging in. Like all the things.
Forgot our login. What's the, I forgot it. I got to reset the password.
Cody, text me the password. Cody, send me the email. There's all that. So,
right.
Thing.
Or even all the way down to the point of my internet got cut out, or Cody's internet in Costa Rica, or his hotel was like glitching out. Like, you guys saw all the issues that you would normally run into with a business. So in day one, it's the basics. It's literally like the equivalent of let's download an app. Let's do this. Watch us do the mundane. In fact, you guys will see in the first recording, we warn you that this is going to be incredibly boring. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't get out your notepad, your pen and paper, take your notes. Guys, I'm telling you, the most important thing you can do right now is get out your pen and paper, because we're going to give you the play-by-play. We're not going to tell you. We're going to show you. And as we show you, you need to take down notes. Okay, so here's the format of Zero to Hero. We have 5 days in the first week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where we do 15 hours of actual work and taking action. And so we want you to follow along. Yes, everything we do, you need to do it. Okay, because by day 8, we got our first deal. By day 10, we got our second, or maybe it was day 12, we got our second. And since then, we've gotten 4 deals from the Zero to Hero Challenge that has generated nearly $50,000 in revenue in just a 3-week period of taking action, only 5 days a week for 3 hours per day. Guys, there's people watching this right now that have never made 50 grand in a year, let alone in 3 weeks, let alone in 3 hours in 3 weeks, starting in a brand new market from scratch. So pull out your pen and paper. We're going to give you guys the action steps from day one. So what did we accomplish on day one, Cody and Matt?
So day one is literally the most simple stuff. From we created a company email. We went into Gmail. We created our company email. We came up with our company name, Panther Home Solutions.
Did I come up with that name?
I think it was you wanted something with Panther.
Yeah.
And then we asked the audience, and then they were like, Panther this, Panther that.
Yeah.
I think I made a joke of like Panther Eating Equity LLC or something.
Equity
like
eaters.
Panther eating a house.
Equity eaters. So it was Panther Home Solutions.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So we got our name. We signed up for Batch Leads. We pulled a list. We went into Fiverr to get a logo created so we could have.
Wait, so I don't need like some $5,000 logo created. I could just like go to Fiverr and pay $5 or something.
Yeah, like I think we paid like $40 or $50 to expedite it, to have it done like quickly.
The reason why we did that is because a lot of people let that hang them up. Like, I need to have the perfect company name. I need to have a logo. It's like, we wouldn't even prioritize that, but since like everyone gets hung up on it, let's show you how fast you can actually do it,
right?
Yeah.
And how simple it is.
Yes,
so.
And stop overcomplicating it. Of like, oh well, I don't know if this name is like the right name. It's like, it doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's just move forward.
Right.
For sure.
So what about an LLC?
So we actually, we set up a call with, I think it was at PCS. So we set up a call with them to set up an LLC because we don't know
So
how
guys,
to do it.
PCS is the name of the company is Prime Corporate Services. So if you go to primecorporateservices.com / do we know what the discount code is?
0 to hero.
0.
Yep.
So primecorporateservices.com / 0 to hero. You guys get a discounted LLC setup, discounted everything, and these guys will absolutely hook you up. That was a call that was set up. Did you guys actually have the call on day 1, or did the call actually happen on day 2?
That happened on day 4.
Yeah,
So
Saturday,
Thursday.
10, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so on day 1, you just reached out to them and said, we need to set up a call.
Yep. Yeah. So we set that up. Then we talked to a rep from Keighley in the North Carolina market because, you know, as everyone knows, the audience picked the market we went to.
Shout out Jim.
Yeah. Shout out to Jim.
Jim's a Subto student and a Keighley franchise owner.
Yeah. So
Right?
Jim was awesome. He was super helpful for us. And, you know, we literally got into the North Carolina market, me and Matt knowing nothing about it. And we're able to get on the phone with Jim. He sent us a list of, hey, here's all of the good zip codes to buy in. Here are the ones to stay away from.
So you're telling me that I don't have to watch 100 YouTube videos to figure this out?
Well, I think.
Do I have to pay a mentor $25,000 to stop answering my phone call and leave me in the wind? That yes, I'm directly talking to you guys right here. If you are somebody who continually watches YouTube videos and not takes action, that is one of the things that holds people up the most. Is like, what list, what area, what do
market?
I know? How do I know?
How many people reach out to you saying, "What market should I go in?"
I blocked them all.
Right. For sure.
But there's another layer of why the 0 to hero challenge is so magical is that even those little things that people overthink,
simplicity,
a phone call solved the problem. And then did we tell people to go make the phone call, or did we just make the phone call?
We just made the phone call, and then we explained why we were doing that. And it was, we also answered the question that everyone's sitting there thinking, well, you guys are Pace, Cody, and Matt. Like, of course they're going to take your phone call and want to hear from you about, you know, the deals that you have. But
fair.
You know,
we're funny, guys. Everybody wants to talk to us. We're super funny.
So there's part of that. But what we talked about on there too was like, look, if people reach out to us and they're starting in our market and they just want to know the areas to buy in, hey, if I get deals, can I bring them to you? Where would you want to get those deals? Yes, I'll answer that question all day long.
How did Cody and I meet? That exact way. How did Matt and me meet? Same exact way. Cody and Matt knew each other before, but the way I met Matt was like, we're doing deals with this guy. Oh my gosh, this guy has to be my best friend. Right?
Anyone who does deals with us, best friends.
Yeah. Or leads or potential. Hey, I'm jumping into this market. I'm brand new and I want to establish an alliance with you. Just think about it as you're going to be waging war against everyone else.
Poverty.
Right. So you're waging a war against poverty and you're creating your clan and your squad. And so you guys got on a call with Jim. Jim gave you the list.
And like a maximum allowable offer
like,
calculator.
He's like, here's what people buy deals at in this market. Here's areas to stay away from. Here's the price point that you want to stay under.
So
in this
much
market.
good stuff.
It was like perfect. And then we were able to go to BatchLeads and pull the list right after the call with Jim.
Yeah, everything we needed. And you guys will see as you work through this challenge, like he comes on multiple times and he helps us underwrite our deals. So that relationship early on is invaluable. Because not only is like the area expert,
but Jim's probably the only person in the country that's like that.
No way. Negative. Right.
Do you guys show people how we found Jim?
100%. Well, we leverage our network, right? I think one of the greatest ways to find people just like Jim is Facebook group. Right.
Love it.
So,
okay. So let's let them get into the training of day 1. Okay, guys, here's the number one thing. If you have been stuck with the question of how do I get started in real estate, or maybe you've been in real estate for a couple of years, you haven't gotten your first deal, or maybe you have had a few deals. The whole purpose of the 0 to Hero Challenge was to create an automated lead generation system so that by day 3 or 4 of you just taking action 3 hours a day, you no longer have to worry about leads coming into your business. So therefore, you can start working on other parts of your business, which you will see throughout the rest of the challenge. Day 1 is very easy. Primarily, I would say day 1 is getting the things that hold the most people up out of the way. So what are those? One more time. We
We created our company email. We came up with the company name. We
had our call with Start Virtual.
We had our call with Start Virtual. So we were able to be in a position to
yeah.
get the leads taken care of, because that's, you know, everyone's like, where do I get leads? How do I get consistent leads?
That's the first step. And guys, like, I know as like most people work their way through this program, what they're going to want to skip to is, can I hear the seller call? Can I hear like, well, let me see the leads? It's like, right. They want to skip straight to that, but it's like, it's not that. It's everything that led up to that. It's the step by step, how everything stacks on top of each other. So like, take this stuff serious, you know?
Here's why people do that, right? Because they go and they cold call and they do all these things to generate one seller lead. And so they know that when I talk to this seller tomorrow that I just set up this appointment, I can't screw up this lead because it took me so long to generate this lead. And they get, what do we call that disease? One-itis. Y'all got one-itis. And Zero to Hero is the cure for one-itis, because when you get to that seller call, it's not as, I guess, prolific. It's not so huge in your way. You're not worried about whether you screw it up or you don't screw it up, because you know you have another lead that you had to call 15 minutes later because you've set up a conveyor belt of leads. Yes. But what people do on YouTube is you're looking for seller calls and scripts and how to talk to sellers. And those things are important, but that's not a business. A business of being good to talk at talking to sellers, but having one lead a week is not a business. You need an automatic conveyor belt of leads coming to you all day, every single day. And at that point, that's when you should care about handling those leads. But creating the conveyor belt is the most important part of all of this. So day one, last time I'm going to have you rehearse this, because I want people on YouTube that don't have access to all the recordings. I want you to jot this down. I start with scheduling a call with startvirtual.com.
100%.
So that I can get somebody to help me generate my leads.
Right.
And build my
get that
actual
off your
business.
Yes.
Done. And by the way, guys, if you have a mentor or a guru that tells you that you need to learn how to cold call, I almost want to say stop listening to them, because that's almost like somebody telling you, go learn how to fix your own cavity in your mouth, or drill out your tooth, or do something.
Shouldn't you know more about that before you have someone do it?
Right. No, guys, if I have a cavity, I hire a dentist. Okay. If I want a cold call, I hire a cold caller. Okay. If I want to text sellers all day long, it's such a low level of importance for what I should be spending my time on that I'm just going to hire somebody to do it. It doesn't make sense. I will never. Have you cold called before?
Zero. Never.
Zero. Have you?
I have cold called when I was an agent.
Oh, he smiled and dialed and cried.
Smiled and dialed hours every day.
Is there anything worse than cold calling?
It's rough. It's a cruel type of punishment for sure.
So if you guys are in the audience watching this and you think we're going to teach you how to cold call, guys, we're going to teach you the opposite. We think people that physically go out and cold call, either A, they just have a really tight budget, which is understandable, or B, they are gluttons for punishment. They enjoy being punished. And that's not what we teach. That's not what a business should be. It should be fun. You should be hanging out with your buddies. Cold calling is not fun. So startvirtual.com. Then we create Panther Home Solutions, which from my recollection, somebody in the audience during the challenge came up with the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 100%. So that's how little of importance your stupid company name is.
Yes.
Okay. Name it anything. Troll Booger, LLC, whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Just take action, move on. Then once you got the company name, you went to Fiverr.
Yep.
And you got the logo moving forward.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You realized, hey, we're going to need a company email. So you went to Gmail.
Yep.
Holy crap. Is that where emails come from?
I guess.
Oh,
the
wow.
land of emails.
So then we get the domain. We go to GoDaddy, I imagine.
Yep.
Okay. We get the domain, go to Gmail. We set all that up. Then we realize, hey, we're going to need a bank account to cash these massive checks. We better get an LLC started.
Yep.
Correct.
And knowing that an LLC takes a couple of weeks to get going, you guys set up a phone call for a future day, which would end up being Zero to Hero day 4.
Correct.
With PCS.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So that's primecorporateservices.com/0 to hero. So guys, we're going to have Jesus or somebody on the team throw up the action items for day 1. So even if you don't get access to the recordings, you at least know what the action steps are. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, click the link down below, which is zerotohero.com or zerotoherorei.com to get access to those recordings. And we'll see you on day 2 action steps.